tayari anajaribu kufika katika sehemu ya Migori, lakini kwanza twende nje ya mahakama ya juu kule ambako mwanahabari mwenzangu Patrick Amimo amepata mahojiano hivi sasa. Moja kwa moja tuweze kusikia kutoka kwa baadhi ya mawakili.
Looking at it, we are expecting the election is supposed to be for tomorrow. What does this mean? Will the election proceed or not?
In my view, the elections will proceed because there is no order stopping the elections from proceeding. Remember, there was a court order already by the Supreme Court directing that the elections must go on. That order has not been stayed, it has not been varied, it has not been set aside. So by virtue of that order and the command of the Supreme Court, the elections must go on. And if you look over at Article 143 of the Constitution also, it commands that the elections must be held within a period of 60 days. And so, since you cannot go against the directions given under the Constitution, it means that the elections must go on within the stipulated period of time.
Thank you so much, Wakili Karo. That is Wakili Kamau, just trying to share with us some of the what has happened after it appeared that they could not raise the quorum, necessary quorum for this particular hearing that was set before the Supreme Court of Kenya. And just I'm just going to get some of the lawyers who are party to this particular petition here that was really seeking to transfer, to look at this particular aspect. And just joining us is Ndubi.
Any decision, including stopping the election, if it was convinced by the petition that the petition that the orders they sought were merited. Therefore, it is important to note that, in fact, if you look back at the history of this country, IEBC and other organs of state always create the impression of a crisis by delaying action, delaying to do the right thing until the last moment, and when they are challenged, they say, oh, we do not have time. It is time to say we can actually pause and do the right thing so that we save the potential electoral anarchy and chaos in the future by stepping back and waiting for the 60 or 90 days that the petitioners were asking for. So that perhaps to go back to the question as to how come the court wasn't fully constituted is an important issue. And when the Chief Justice says that two judges were not available to sit without further reason, yet before the purported gazettement of a public holiday by the minister yesterday, the judges were available to sit as a duty. I think it is important to say that they owe the country, they owe the Constitution, they owe the sovereign people of Kenya an explanation as how they choose to withdraw their labor when they are required to sit. It is not, it's not a favor they are doing this country as judges. They have a duty to sit at all times. In fact, they should remember that the judiciary is usually the final beacon of hope where people go to when all is lost. When they disappear, when we expect them to hear and determine a matter of such grave importance, then one wonders whether they are living true to the oath they took as judges.
Does this mean your case has collapsed, given tomorrow there will be an election?
The case has not collapsed. What it has meant really is that it has provided an opportunity or one more reason to nullify an election that is going to be conducted notwithstanding the law, notwithstanding the regulations, so that any petition in the future, it doesn't have to be these three, any petition in the future will cite this as an occasion when which has polluted that forthcoming election if it happens. Remember that my senior has already said a judge of the High Court has declared that the returning officers are not legally in office, and therefore we do not know who will hold that election. I guess that the IEBC, as divided as it is, as convoluted as it is, will for step back a moment and come to its senses and say the future of the country is in its hands, not the future of a party. The future of the country is in IBC's hands. Thank you.
Wakili Hamino, just looking at it, this matter was you are to execute it. Now that we've seen that there was no quorum, what is your response to this?
My response is that the two judges who are available to sit and decided not to sit, they have let us down. They should have sat to hear our case. These are ordinary people who are trying to uphold the rule of law in the country, and the judges have taken an oath, as Malanand Jr. has said, have taken an oath to uphold the rule of law in the country. And it is not fair, it's not reasonable that they should abstain from sitting and hearing the case because of what happened last night. They should have come to court to hear the case.
Asante sana hapo Alimanzo. Nimekuwa tu ni wakili John Hamino akijaribu kutuelezea masuala yake mawili matatu kuhusu hali ambavyo ilivyo sasa hivi, na hivi kidogo tumpata hapa wakili James Orengo upande wa NASA, ambaye labda atatueleza naye kuhusu hatua ambayo imetokea wakati huu ambapo tumeona kesi hii haingeweza kuendelea. Tupate muda kidogo tujitayarishe, kisha tukapata neno lake mmoja hapa.
Yeah, I'm waiting for everybody to be ready. You tell me when you're ready so that we do it all together. Ready? Now, you know the reasons why the court could not proceed with the matter this morning. But our take is that the constitutional order in Kenya is being overturned. These are no ordinary circumstances. It does not just begin with the court, it begins with the Electoral Commission itself. If you look at the proceedings that are before the court, the affidavit that has been sworn on behalf of the Electoral Commission is by the vice chair of the commission. And the chairman of the commission has not filed any affidavit or anything in support or against the proceedings this morning. It is a clear indication that the Electoral Commission is operating without the input of the chairman. Mr. Chebukati has become a passenger in the commission. And we have read in extenso the affidavit sworn by the vice chair. And that vice chair, she is purported to be the deputy national returning officer, which is illegal in itself. So the first constitutional body that has been disabled by way of conduct of the Jubilee government and the party is the Electoral Commission itself. It is a belief that what is left of the commission is not capable in law and under the Constitution to run any election. And then, to our surprise, the Chief Justice could not mobilize a quorum. And I think the lack of quorum on the part of the Supreme Court is not by coincidence or is not by accident. The gazettement of the 25th of October as a public holiday was part of the design to make sure that these proceedings would not take place. But when the Chief Justice made the order that the proceedings will continue anyway, there was an attempt on the life of the Deputy Chief Justice. And if you don't believe me that it was an attempt on his life, she was not here this morning, which means the events of last night must have deeply traumatized her. The two judges, the dissenting judges in the petition that was earlier had in relation to the presidential elections, the two of them were not available. So all in all, there is an attempt to undermine the authority of the institutions of government, including independent institutions like the Electoral Commission and the Supreme Court. But that is not the end of the matter, because the High Court has this morning given a ruling or a judgment that the appointment of all the returning officers and the deputy returning officers in all the constituencies as gazetted is illegal, which means as we speak now, there are no competent persons, legally competent persons, to preside over the presidential elections in the 291 constituencies, because the other constituency caters for the diaspora. These acts of intimidation have gone beyond the court, beyond the Electoral Commission. In the last 48 hours, there have been attacks, arrests, and detention of various personalities in the opposition, Dr. Halwale being one of them, Governor Kingi in the coast, Senator Mazayo, and quite a number of other people who have to seek safety or get bail, anticipatory bail during this period. So it is really a sad day for Kenya, but if the commission there goes on with the election tomorrow, purported elections tomorrow, it will be an illegality ab initio because of lack of competence. Because elections are held, presidential elections are held at the constituency. And there will be no competent returning officers at the constituency level. And as NASA's lawyers, we are telling all constitutional bodies and organs, and now the Electoral Commission, what is left of it, that it will be illegal and unconstitutional for them to move ahead with the elections, purported elections tomorrow. But you know, our candidate has withdrawn, and NASA as a coalition will not take part in bogus and fraudulent elections. In conclusion, we wish to sympathize and express our disappointment and regret with what happened to the Deputy Chief Justice yesterday. We wish that she recovers from this violent attack, which was clearly aimed at her, but which unfortunately got her driver, who, as we speak now, I think some people are saying probably he may have passed on, but if that is not the case, we wish that driver a quick recovery. Kenya has never been in this situation, even during the colonial times, in such a state of confusion surrounding an election. And I think Chebukati can't be the solution because he's the returning officer in the presidential elections. I think he should come out today, now, and say the environment and the state of preparedness on the part of IEBC cannot translate into a free and fair elections. And we support him by his election not to be party to what the commission was prepared to say this morning to the court, and to the fact that he had not filed any responses to the application of the petition, which has been filed by the petitioners, which means, in a way, is an acceptance of the allegations and the avowals which have been made in the petition that was to be heard this morning.
On the one hand,
and okay.
On the one hand, is a group of Kenyans, about the ones who voted for Kenyatta, who said the electoral cycle must come to an end, that the country is tired, 700 billion shillings lost up to now. Then there is this case, which of course has collapsed, and your party, which says much more could have been done before tomorrow. So which way, Kenya, in your opinion?
I mean, the way forward is to go by the Constitution and the law. The date 26 is not written in the Constitution and the law. We still could have gone up to the 1st of November. The fact that they're insisting that the elections must go on tomorrow, despite all the difficulties the country is experiencing, I think is a loud expression of the election on the part of the president and the Jubilee Party to have elections at their instance, not at the instance of the Electoral Commission. And I think the resultant effect of what has happened today and probably tomorrow is going to be felt, until, another 10 years. I don't think we're going to recover from what has happened today and what may happen tomorrow.
Court soon, immediately after the elections?
Well, no, this matter is still in court, the one which was filed today. So probably the petitioners may want to take a date. And obviously, riding on the decision the High Court has made today, that there are no returning officers, competent returning officers in place, it would render any election, until that matter is regularized, to be illegal and null and void ab initio. Yeah.
Huyo amekuwa ni wakili Orengo Manzu. Huyo amekuwa ni wakili Orengo, na sasa kidogo tutaka tukufikisha pale kidogo kwa mwenzangu yule ambaye ni yule Kaluyu, ambaye Kaluyu pia tunajua ni mgombea, ni mmojawapo wa wagombea urais. Labda tupate pia naye ana nini cha kusema haswa kuhusiana na hali hii ya kesi hii ambayo ilikuwa inaendelea kutoka hapa mahakama ya juu zaidi. Kakalu, nikueleza tu sasa, tunaona mlikuwa mmekuja hapa kusikiza kesi hii, lakini imeonekana hakukuwa na kile kiwango cha kufanya majaji waweze kuketi na kusikiza kesi yako. Labda mawazo yako ni ipi kuhusu hilo hili?
Mawazo yangu ni kwamba mimi nilikuwa mmoja wenye wako katika kesi. Na my argument ilikuwa tunatakiwa tumalizane na siasa, tuendelee na mbele. Biashara zimeenda chini, starvation is around the corner kwa sababu mvua haijakuja, na mimi naona ni lazima tuendelee mbele, manake hii kitu si ya viongozi wenyewe. It's not about us. Ni ya wale watu tunaongoza. Na watu wale tunaongoza, as long as they are suffering, easy case about us, ni shame on us. We should be thinking about ni nini inafanyika na Wakenya. So hii kitu hakuna side moja tunaweza kusema Maranga hivi, Maranga vile, ama Mwilu hivi, ama Justice Mwili vile, hakukuwa quorum. We cannot speculate. I deal with facts. I'm as research scientist. So tuko pale tuko, uchanguzi utakuwa kesho. Hivyo ndio mimi nilikuwa nataka. It was just a lucky one. Si akukwa argument. But Kenya must move forward. And you know what? I'm happy we're going to be able to have, the election and we move forward.
Lakini kuna kesi ambayo imetoka katika mahakama kwamba inasema wale maafisa ambao wangesimamia uchaguzi huu, tuseme wale returning officers na presiding officers, eti hawakuidhinishwa kufuatana na sheria, na labda huenda jambo hili uamuzi huu kaujumu hiyo uchaguzi.
Pengine unajua nini? Pengine watu wengine they might appeal, and if they appeal, that's what it is, wana appeal. Pengine inakuwa siku ingine.
Na labda jambo la mwisho, huoni kuwa labda kuna wale wenzako wale kujiondoa kwa labda yule kiongozi yule mgombea urais wa NASA akisema kwamba labda sheria na utaratibu hazijafuatwa, na labda akasema wafuasi wako wasishiriki katika zoezi hili, labda litakuwa sio halali kwa upande wako, waona labda kujiondoa kwa huyu mgombea ni vipi?
I respect that. Ninamrespect sana, na Raila, I have a lot of respect for him. He has fought for this nation for many years for multi-party na kile chochote. Lakini tunasema tuongojee ifanyike ndio tujue kama kulikuwa irregularities. Otherwise, for now, it is only speculative and nothing else.
Asante sana. Mwanzo huyo amekuwa ni Kaluyu ambaye ni mgombea urais mojawapo katika huu uchaguzi ambao umepangwa kufanyika kesho, na tumeona maoni tofauti mbalimbali kutoka kwa pande zote zilizohusika katika hali hii kukuja kusikiza kwa kesi hii, lakini ambayo iliweza kutibuka kufuatia kutokuwepo kwa idadi kamili ya majaji wa mahakama ya juu zaidi ambao wangeweza kusikiza kesi hii baada ya kuwepo tu majaji wawili.